Viral with a courageous campaign, Not My Shame. And last year, her campaign really took off when she posted a photo of herself on social media, along with the caption, "As a 50-year-old woman, I finally feel strong enough to stand up without shame, fear or embarrassment stuck to me like leeches. I've turned the tables and can confidently say being violated, mistreated as a child is not my shame." We're here to discuss her campaign, and her story. With me is the founder and campaigner for Not My Shame, Emma Jane Taylor. Emma, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Nana.
Now, we spoke about a year ago.
Yes.
You were on. We had a difficult conversation about it.
Yes.
Some people may not know your story, so briefly, can you sort of update people on your story?
Yeah. So, a 9-year-old child is sexually assaulted. That was just once, and then around 11, 12 years old, my father abandoned me, and that shattered my world, actually. And I think after that loss, I became very vulnerable. The memory of what happened at 9 sort of really hit home. And then I was a vulnerable, insecure child looking for any attention, anything to make me feel better. And then a friend of the family turned up, and there was a gap. And he became my friend, and it was so nice to have a friend. And, you know, he bought me lovely things. He treated me like a princess. But, of course, I was being groomed. And that then led to me being physically abused for about the next 3 or 4 years. So there was a chunk of my life there that really was taken from me. And, you know, as I went into my late teens, early 20s, the penny dropped, Nana. You know, I was really like, OK, this isn't right. I've been abused, but I didn't know that back then because I was a child. You know, we're not developed. And, of course, when you have something like that happen to you, you have a delayed onset of maturity anyway. And so I went into my 20s. I started to seek some help to get me through difficulties because I was suffering with dissociation, maladaptive dreaming.
What does that mean, maladaptive?
I was just dropping out. I was just not able to focus. I wasn't focusing anywhere. And OCD, I became addicted to drinking. I was taking drugs. I had OCD. I was having night terrors.
Wow.
I was being triggered left, right and centre. And you get to the point you just think, I cannot exist like this. And I didn't at that point think, oh, one day I want to be a campaigner. I actually thought, I just want to feel better than this. This isn't a healthy way to exist. I was in the... I'm a dancer by trade. I was working as a dancer, and in fitness was my business, still is. And I was like, OK, I cannot be doing this to my body. So I went on this journey of therapy. No one knew. I just ran my businesses. And then I came out the other side and I thought, actually, I feel a bit of an imposter. Here I am, you know, in my 40s, you know, everyone looks on and I've built up my businesses. And on the outside, it looks like I'm doing really well. But in the inside, I felt like an imposter. And I just wanted to do something that could help someone else. So I wrote a book. Got my book published, and then lots of things started happening from there, started speaking more and more. And then suddenly I was like, right, OK, I'm going to take this seriously. I want to do something good. So I launched my charity, which has got its first year anniversary next weekend. And that's Project 9010, and that's all about giving education and safeguard training for children. And I stepped forward and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to do something that I need, which is to recognise that this wasn't my shame. So I put on this T-shirt, and as you said, it went viral, and here we are.
And also, well, you caught the attention of a great advocate of yours, Charlie Lawson, who also joins us now. Charlie, thank you so much for joining us here on GB News. So you got involved with this campaign. Talk to me about why and what you're doing to help Emma.
Well, I think, first of all, and you will know if you ever put this T-shirt on, as I did, I escaped by the skin of my teeth abuse many, many moons ago. But when I saw EJ in this T-shirt, I was very moved with her courage. Courage is a big thing for me, and it takes immense courage to put that on. And to talk about it. And it meant an awful lot to me because my wife, Debbie, was seriously sexually abused as a child. And so I've been through a journey without an end, actually, with Debbie, who is now sort of 90% control of her emotions. She wasn't when I first met her, and it knocked me sideways, but we had to learn to deal with it together. So although I have not been sexually abused, it was very close and I got away with it by the skin of my teeth. My darling wife was, and I have every respect for her, of course, but especially for EJ as well, because, you know, she's battled an awful long way to get where she is. And so I'm very proud, never mind, you know, pleased to be helping. I'm very, very proud to be associated with Emma Jane. I mean that most sincerely.
Yeah, well, that's, of course, one of the great advocates, Charlie Lawson, who's been supporting Emma throughout. So, Emma, talk to me about what you're doing now, because it's a year since you set this up. So talk to me, because it's going from strength to strength as more people are hearing about it.
We've got this awareness day next week. So we started putting this message out, Not My Shame, and a lady called Lynn, she won't mind me saying that, she put on a T-shirt, she went public and she stood by me, and then someone saw Lynn and they were like, oh, we want to get involved, and a lady called Jo came forward. And suddenly all these survivors came forward, and I felt like we needed to do something to recognise the impact of this conversation, because it is a widespread hidden horror. Child sexual abuse takes childhoods and then it affects adults for their life. And so we need to recognise that. We need to understand, we need to support survivors, get this message out, help leaders understand that this is a serious happening that is ruining lives. And if you can start supporting survivors, then you see a much more flourishing society. Therefore, then we can protect children, which is my start and finish to all of this. So we've got a ribbon day next week. You've got a ribbon as well.
I've got a ribbon, yes, I've got my ribbon.
And this is going to be worn on the 1st of May. This is going to observe the day. And it is going to be a minute's silence on the day at 12 o'clock. And that is to observe the conversation of childhood sexual abuse, and also the childhoods that have been taken from this horrific abuse. We have coffee mornings. We're going to be on various radio shows next week. We've got a rock drop day. I also want to give a shout out to Henley Town Council and Chester Town Council, who are lighting up their town halls white to support the Not My Shame movement. They're also, the Newgate Arch and Eastgate Clock in Chester are going to do that, and that's supported by Samantha Dixon MP.
Emma, if people want to find out more about this, where can they go? Because we're running out of time.
OK, www.notmyshame.global. Everything you need to know is there, and everyone's welcome to come and join us.
Well, listen, Emma Jane, it's really good to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story. Also to thank you to Charlie Lawson, who's been fantastic in his support towards you. And stay tuned for us, because we've got loads still coming up here on GB News. Coming up...